Hi everyone, welcome to the end of January general reading. We're going to be covering love, we're going to be covering career / money, finances, and I'm going to be time stamping for everything below. I want to first start though, I'm going to be starting at the beginning of all of the signs with this particular astrological component where I mix it with tarot. I don't know, I've never done this actually on YouTube, but I think it's a way of helping a lot of you who are very interested in connecting tarot to astrology, having to do with the cards. And we're just going to be talking about a lot of the big stuff that's going to be happening the end of this month. But if you're not into that, no worries. Check the timestamps in the description box below and just pop forward to whatever it is that you're interested at during this point, whether it's a relationship, career, whatever it is, okay? But for those of you who are interested, let's talk about what's going on and let's connect it to the cards. My name's Jackie. Thank you so much for joining me, for those of you who are new. So listen, the big star for the end of this month really is going to be the full moon in Leo, right? That's happening on the 28th, but there's a lot of energy sort of surrounding it, right? Coming up to that point. What is Leo, right? Leo is the strength energy, right? So for us to have this full moon in Leo, beautiful, beautiful, because what is the moon? The moon is about our intuition, right? The moon is also the story that we tell ourselves. It has to do with the moon does rule our home. But, even in a metaphorical way, our foundation, what we need to feel very grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. And with the Leo energy, we're tapping into all of that, having to do with romance. How grounded, rooted, safe, and secure do we feel in that? How about our children, creativity, entrepreneurial efforts, just our idea of fun, right? Leo is a fun energy and it's super romantic. It has to do with falling in love, love affairs, romance, how we connect with our partner on a Monday through Sunday, what we do for fun because we love to do it, taking something that we love and figuring out a way to make money at it. It has to do with anything that we create, which is why it's also the house of children. It's also the house of gambling as well. But anyway, so what do we have going on here, right? So we have this full moon, right? The moon, right? Full moon in Leo. And we have this working with the Aquarius sun, right? This is what happens. They're opposite each other, right? So there's going to be a lot of light shown on this. And what is the sun? The sun is our focus. It's material happiness. It's the ability to have the outcome, first of all, that we're really looking for, but it's where our focus is geared, right? Now, to have it in Aquarius, which is the star energy, is all about focusing on the future, looking at where do you need to have a renewed sense of hope. Where in this Leo energy might you need some inner clarity having to do with your romance or a situation having to do with your kids or what it is that you're doing for a living. So I really kind of feel like, doesn't that cover so much, right? So there's going to be a lot going on with this because it's going to be, the sun is going to be shining on this moon energy. Now in relationships, it can often bring this need for resolve, or this need at least is going to be a confrontation of these ideas. Now that can sound negative, but it doesn't have to be, because what is it all about? The star energy with the sun is about, let's pay attention to what we need to focus on in order to fix something. Now what I love about this particular full moon, this one, is that the sun, it's going to be at 9 degrees Aquarius, right? 9 degrees Leo for the moon, 9 degrees Aquarius for the sun. This is going to be beautifully conjunct optimistic Jupiter, which is the wheel of fortune, which is about good energy and a turning point. And the need to take a chance on something. It's on something. It is gambling, right? It is that gambling energy. Again, with the gambling, I don't know, go play scratch off. But I love this energy for the end of the month. There's going to be so much focus on this. Now, additionally, this sun and moon dynamic, this is going to be forming a T-square to Mars. Mars is going to be in Taurus. So what is Mars? Mars in Taurus. We have the Tower energy and the Hierophant having a baby. So like, what? Wait a minute. What does that mean? Well, what is the Tower? Tower is Mars. Well, what is it, right? In Tarot, everybody's like, oh, I don't want the Tower. That means the complete annihilation of something. It means ruin, upheaval, disgrace. You know what it means? It's Mars, right? What is Mars obsessed with? Putting us on our rightful path. What is really meant to happen? And if you're on a path, whether it's a relationship, a job, any sort of situation, that Mars has been flipping up the red flags in your face, and we all do it, right? We all ignore it when we want to. We all do. It's part of the human condition. It's like, no, I don't want to look at that because I really want this to work, kind of thing. Well, Mars is posing the question, is that really the right thing for you? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But it's time that if it is, and you're not appreciating something, there's got to be an update in that perception. If, and again, it doesn't have to be this complete ruin pulling down. We have these internal tower moments where we're changing our perception of how we view something. Now, having it work with the Hierophant energy, right? This is Taurus. Taurus is the Hierophant. This is about traditions and conventions and expectations and conformity. And what is it that you really, really want? Are you on that path of where you really want to be? So because it's creating this T-square, guys, just so you understand, right, the way T-square works in astrology. So here we have the sun and the moon, and then you have the center point. That creates the T. And the angle of that T, which would be the angle of Mars and Taurus, is where that focus is going to be. So this is going to be giving a lot of drive to figure out solutions to what's going on in this area. Now, there can be with this inflated expectations. There could be possible like impatience going on. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it could definitely be that. There could be this energy of, even though we have that sun, and I think this is going to be helping it though, is going to be conjunct this Jupiter energy. That's just going to be amping up because Jupiter is about growth and expansion. So take whatever it's hanging with and expand it, right? So you just want to be careful now, taking it outside the box a little bit, that Jupiter-Mars dynamic. You want to be careful of arrogance, of hubris, of overdoing, of over anything. But I don't want to downplay the positive energy that this is going to be bringing. The level of hope in romance, in creative endeavors, in where you're going. This is going to be very, very hopeful. It really, really is. But I just want to make sure that you have a little bit of temperance going on here. And I didn't pull a temperance card, but the temperance card, that's like a Sagittarius energy. Maintain your integrity, right? You want to maintain your integrity while you move forward. So it really is about just temper things. Be a little patient as these energies are hitting, because this is what's going to happen in this energy. There's going to be a huge desire to drive forward, especially the 23rd to the 26th. We do have Mars in a square with Jupiter, right? So that square right there is going to create, when I break it out into your signs, I'm going to explain how it's going to be impacting each of your sun and rising signs, directly. But there is this idea that we have to come to terms with something, right? There's got to be this energy where if we have Mars in tension with Jupiter, this is like the tower being in tension with the wheel. Well, this is a very fortunate energy. This is about taking a chance and things going well, but it does need to, what you have to do though is understand what needs to be released or updated. Even if nothing's being released, you might just need to change the way that something is being perceived. So we have that energy going into this full moon, going into this T-square. So we have all of that going on. So at the bottom line of all of that, hopeful, let's go, let's change, let's problem solve, really. Let's just figure things out. But the challenge here, guys, is going to be a couple of things. I mean, we do have, first of all, and what I like here that's going to be added into all of this, I love that we're going to have Venus and Pluto at an almost exact conjunction at the end of the month. So Venus is all about the Empress energy. This is the Empress. This is about growth and expansion. She's the mother of the tarot. It's not only about love, it's money as well. Venus is money. It's one of the money planets. It's self-worth, self-value. How good do you feel about being in something? Do you feel loved? Are you loving what you do? Are you able to grow in what you're doing? And we have that conjunct, which means it's blending with Pluto, which is all about transformation. So there's definitely changes going on in the money sector. There are changes going on in relationship. Could be one of those areas, none, one or all of them. But this could also be internal transformation when we're talking about Venus with Pluto. You're changing the way you see yourself. You're changing the way that your self-concept and feeling really good. Or maybe not good, but I think good because it's Venus there, which is really pushing you to change in a very positive way if you're experiencing like that and not in money or relationship. So I'm not mad at that energy at all. I mean, Pluto can be this disruptive energy in that it's all about endings and beginnings, but let's focus on the beginning part. Focus on the gift. Don't focus on the negative, because then you're never going to be able to really manifest the positive if you keep focusing on the negative of something, right? So we have all of this going on, and I really do feel like from a holistic point, there's a lot of negotiation going on here having to do with relationships, career, money. Depends on how it's going to be hitting you specifically. But I wanted to give this kind of energy read because a lot of people don't know their placements. They don't know what time they're born to check their chart, their house placements, because you need to know that time of birth to know all of your house placements. So I want to give just you're going to know, you're going to vibe where you're going to be feeling it. So now I do want to also, before I talk about Mercury going retrograde, I do want to talk about the fact that we're going to have Mercury, the Sun, Jupiter, and Venus on a collective level, and I'm talking about according to and I know a lot of you guys watch me who are not living in the United States, but those of you who are living in the States, I can't do it for every country, obviously. The collective energy, we have a lot of expansive energies here in the 8th house. So the eighth house is about coming to financial terms, financial agreements, right? So we have Mercury, communication, Sun, focus, Jupiter, luck and expansion, Venus having to do with money and love in the 8th house, the end of the month. So I definitely think that this speaks to those of us who are familiar, like with the stimulus situation going on, anything like that. All right. Now this is going to be in conjunct, though. I do want to mention this, in conjunct with Saturn, the transiting Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, and all of that in the 3rd, right? So we have this dynamic between communication and settling up on something. So why do I want to mention this? Well, first of all, I know it's wonderful to say everything is in that 8th house where it seems like really positive, and it is. But you have to understand what an in conjunct means is tension with the 3rd house of communication. So when you have Saturn, hanging out where it's in conjunct Mercury, which is the magician, we have this idea of there needs to be this culmination of this lesson learned, right? There does, because that's the world energy, through this very focused creativity. There needs to be this idea of the ability to turn a vision in the mind's eye into reality. So there's going to be a lot of negotiations. Now, I think the fact that this is leading into February, which is going to have Mercury retrograde. Mercury is going to be retrograde, and it's going to be pre-shadow the last 2 weeks of this month. It's going to be stationary in the 29th into the 30th, which means that there's going to be a culmination of issue having to do with communication, right? And then we go into Mercury retrograde for the month of February. And the thing is, I'm not mad at this, guys. You can't stop life. This is so necessary. If we just look at it from a societal level, and a lot of you, I'm sure, even on a personal level, where it's this time for negotiation. You say, well, wait a minute, Jackie. Mercury is a terrible energy to negotiate in. No, it's not. Not if what's been put on the table was configured prior to the Mercury retrograde. It's fantastic. Glass half full. No, it's not a good time to maybe start something brand spanking new or to suggest something brand spanking new. But as we're connecting this to the collective and we're talking about finances and things like that, and people getting the help that they need, because I think a lot of you guys need to understand this right now, there's going to be heavy negotiations. And this is really positive because all of this stuff has been set in motion before Mercury retrograde. So you have to understand that. If you put in for a job position before Mercury retrograde and you're in the space of negotiation, good. If you're negotiating a contract, a lease, the buying of a home, the selling of a home that started before this point that we're discussing, this is good because it slows everything down so that we can look at everything more clearly. We can see the minutia of everything, right? Because Mercury is such a fast energy, sometimes we need to slow it down and pull it back in order to not miss any of the very important details. So that's going to be going on, having to do with February. I did the February astrology only, if you guys want to check out that video. But that's what everybody's going to be dealing with. Now I'm going to go pull for your particular sign. Okay, see you on the other side. Bye-bye. Hi, Capricorn. I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages. So let's get right into your career. And as far as the energies and how they're hitting you guys, so Mars square in Jupiter, that's happening in your 5th and your 2nd house. So Mars is in your 5th house. So Mars is, we'll talk about how that might be impacting your romance sector, having to do with relationships when we get to that part of the reading. But 5th house is also your creativity and your entrepreneurial efforts, and it's squaring its intention with Jupiter. But the thing is, when it's squaring, it's like this energy where you really want to sort of just kind of get up and go, right? And there's this reason why you can, because it's the Jupiter is in your 2nd house. It could be because maybe you want to push forward some sort of creative endeavor, but you don't have the money, something to do with money. 2nd house is things that we value, so it has to do with money, the roof over your head, the clothes on your back, what matters to you. At the same time, we have that full moon a few days later, so that's like the 23rd to the 26th, right? Then on the 28th, we have the full moon in Leo. Now this particular full moon in Leo is going to be hitting you in your 8th house. Sun's going to be coming from that 2nd house. Keep in mind that Sun in Aquarius is going to be conjunct very optimistic Jupiter. So even though that Jupiter is in tension with Mars, it's in a beautiful conjunction with the Sun. So that's going to be easing up these energies for you. So to have the full moon in the 8th, keep in mind, what is that full moon? In Leo. Full moon in Leo is all about creativity. It has to do with romance. It has to do with children. It has to do with anything that would have anything to do with those things, right? So there's going to be a lot of light shown on these areas, right? Having to do with the 8th house is about endings and beginnings, about transformation. This could also have to do with your partner's money that comes to you from other people. This could have to do with a payout, having to do with either inheritance. This is even like any sort of investment, right? Because the 8th house rules the stock market, any sort of investment like that, buying a home, selling a home, anything like that. For a lot of you, very direct interpretation could be selling your own business or selling a business or buying a business with somebody, taking on a business partner, right? Something to do with that, right? Because we have it working where the sun is shining from that 2nd house of resources. Mercury is going to be going retrograde in your 2nd house of resources, and it's going to be stationary, direct, the last couple of days of the month. So it just means that, when it comes to things of value, could have to do with money or anything that you value, could be a little tense, and you might not be able to problem solve very effectively. I'm talking like 1 or 2 days. But when we're talking about anything that you've had going on up to this point, any sort of negotiation or anything like that, even though Mercury goes retrograde, it is a good time to revisit contracts, revisit deals, right? And really sort of go through everything with a very fine-tooth comb. I think that could be very, very beneficial. Now, at the same time, we do have Venus conjunct Pluto in your 1st house, right? It is happening in you. So Venus conjunct the change, right? The energy of transformation. So I feel like there's a lot of change going on for you guys. Venus conjunct Pluto, my friends. Ooh, you might want to get a new hairdo. You might want to get like a little bit of a makeover. Sort of come to this point where you're just feeling good about yourself too. Venus conjunct Pluto, because Pluto is about, dealing with the past, digging up the past. Venus is in there though, with self-respect and self-value and love and hugs, right? So this change is going to be felt in a big way in your 1st house. So I like it. Let's talk about career. We have starting off with the heart, right? Heart is the shape of love. It's the shape of peace. That's what it is, right? That's what this is a shape of. And we have the compass, where it is that you're meant to go. What is it that you're meant to do? You're going to have to make a decision, though. There's a choice that has to be made. Definitely going to be getting some help from an outside institution. This is a tower in Lenormand. It means getting assistance. So that could be from a bank, a loan, getting hired by a company, whatever the case is, where whoever it is that you may need help from, the help coming in. So let's see what the tower tells us about that. And then we have the coffin, which is transformation. Ending brings a new beginning. So, keeping in mind that we do have, again, that Venus conjunct Pluto, which is very much like a Pluto energy in your first house of self. So something may be changing. Your viewpoint might be changing about something, right, having to do with money. But let's see. Let's pull the cards and see what they have to say. Okay, very nice. All right. So I see you definitely going in a little bit of a different direction here. We have this 10 of Cups, which 10 of Cups is a great energy. It's about total love and support, family love and contentment. Some of you guys are in business with your family. It can indicate you guys deciding to take something in a different direction rather than sell it. Some of you, it couldn't quite literally mean that, right? Because we have the 10 of Cups energy, which is about that total, again, total love and support, family contentment. So there could be this something to do with family here, but it's going in a different direction. 10 of Cups could also just mean like you feel like you're in the right space, on the right path. But the Fool is, for you, in order to be happy, you may decide that the path for you, the right path for you, is the Fool, which is a Uranus energy. New path, new adventure, taking a chance on something. But we have the Nine of Wands energy, which is interesting because, right, what is the Nine of Wands? It's between the 8 and the 10 of Wands, right? That doesn't help. But the 8 of Wands is this energy where it's like, I'm not sure if I belong in this anymore. I'm not sure. Felt right at one time. I'm not sure now. And then the 10 of Wands is, I can't do this anymore. I feel overwhelmed. Well, the 9 is, I'm really tired, but I'm still standing. So I'm going to maintain healthy boundaries. I still have fire in my belly for this, right? But so I feel like you're taking something that you're doing. There's some sort of financial agreement, some sort of, whether it's the job that you're doing, some sort of investment, whatever it is, you're going to do it differently. You're going to have a different approach to it, but you still have fire in your belly for it. So let's see what's ultimately, what is meant to happen. We have the compass, the true north of the situation. So there's some sort of conflict that's destined to happen. It's a minor arcana. I wouldn't worry about it. This is the Saturn and Leo energy. It's just about having some sort of challenge, some sort of rivalrous energy with somebody where there's a battle of the wills, right? And having that battle of the wills, we have more Leo energy, so you might be dealing with a Leo, but we have this with the Strength card. It's just about self-love, unconditional love, self-respect, being brave. But the Leo energy, obviously we know that the full moon is in Leo. It's about getting in touch with something that you love to do, that matters to you, that's very creative for you. I mean, we could be creative with anything that we take on in our life, right? It depends on how we approach it. But this is very much mattering to you. Very much mattering to you. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 is the number of mastery. So this is about mastering your craft, really enjoying your job, enjoying whatever you're doing. Focusing on the best way to handle a situation. So if it's not mastering your actual employment, this could be figuring out, perhaps with somebody else, the best strategy in something. Now, I do want to say that if by chance you guys are in a space where you may be getting divorced, and there's obviously that's going to impact the finances, right? So we have this idea of, there having been love, right? The total love and support. And now there's this other path that's being taken. And it's not like you don't care, right? The Nine of Wands doesn't mean that you care, but there's going to be, destined is some sort of battle of the wills. And it could perhaps have to do with the children. Because the Strength energy is also Leo. Leo is the 5th house, which is of kids. So trying to figure out what the right thing is, right? Figuring out what is the best strategy to this. Now, you're going to have a choice to make. So let's see what we have working with the choice. We have the Hierophant, we have the Queen of Swords, we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so the Hierophant is one of the marriage cards, and, you know, just referencing those of you who are dealing with some sort of marital situation, anything like that. But it's not only that, actually. It has to do with traditions and conventions and expectations and conforming to something. So this could certainly also have to do with the way something is supposed to go with an inheritance, the way something is supposed to go with some sort of either legal settlement, insurance payout, some sort of anything having to do with an investment, anything like that. That's Hierophant energy, right? It's expectations, it's conforming, right? There are rules and ways, you know, a way that this is supposed to be happening. So we have clarifying that. We have the Queen of Swords, which is about being really honest. And you embracing this idea of being very self-sufficient, Capricorn. You know, you are understanding this and you're being very, very honest, very sort of open about some sort of situation that goes on. And what are you being honest about? You're being really honest about the fact that you're concerned about your long-term security and you have a desire to know that this is going to be solidified for you. This is less a greed energy and more of a self-protective energy. Okay, now, you know, and I do feel like a number of you are dealing with the divorce situation. It's not to harbor on that because I know not all of you are. That would be ridiculous. But, you know, again, with the Tower does represent, and Lenormand, it does represent an institution of any kind, and marriage is an institution, right? So it is also that, this idea. So what's working with that, though? We have the Nine of Pentacles, which is very much a self-sufficient energy, focusing on the financial gains, focusing on soul pleasures, you know, what really matters to you, and really focus on being able to take care of yourself, really, at the end of the day, being able to take care of yourself. We have this working with the Five of Cups, and which is about feeling regret about something, feeling a sense of loss, feeling for some of you, it's going to be feeling a sense of abandonment, actually. But you're focusing on the Three Cups that are spilled. You're focusing on something that didn't work here as far as your ability to be self-sufficient. Or even if it's not, even if you are self-sufficient, but like if you end up being in a space where you're ending up having to pay out more than you're comfortable with, you know, that could really be making you feel very sort of sad and depressed about that, for sure. If that's coming to pass, the selling of a business, the settling of something having to do with an estate, anything like that, the settling of something, you had your eyes set on a certain amount and it may not actually come out the way that you want because you may be dealing with an energy, the devil energy, right? I mean, this could show up as you, certainly, right? It is your reading, and, you know, the devil is the Capricorn energy. But this, you could be dealing with somebody who's rather greedy or materialistic or just obsessive about some sort of financial circumstance. Now, again, this could be you, where you're in the space where it's like you're not happy with some sort of payout, or you're not happy with some sort of settlement. You feel like it's unjust, right? And what happens with the devil energy, though, is it ends up becoming an imbalance in the dynamic of the situation from being able to move forward smoothly, where it's almost like being shackled to an idea or shackled to something. Okay, so if that's not it, you could be dealing with an energy who's a bit of a hot mess, having to do with some sort of financial situation, right? Because this could end up be like some sort of addiction, obsessive tendencies, you know, something where they're just really, really difficult to deal with, really, really difficult. So I do feel like there's something that's going to be ending for you so that something else can be begun. We have clarifying that. We have the Six of Pentacles, which is nice. It's about giving and receiving help. This is about generosity. So something might be ending and you could be getting paid off. There could be some sort of payout. Maybe it's not exactly what you want, but it does seem like something is being pushed to a final stage in a process of negotiation. And then we have the Hermit energy, which is about going within for clarity. But it's about problem solving too, right? Because the Hermit is Virgo. the Hangman. And the Hangman is a Neptune energy, and it's trying to get a different perspective on the situation. But you're in this space where you feel like you needed to sacrifice something because of the ending of something. So whether it's that you lost your job, you sold a business, you sold a home, it had to do with an inheritance, you're settling a lawsuit, you're settling the payout of a marriage, something. I feel like you're going to be walking out of this particular phase, and it's a short phase, right? It's short. It's the end of the month. But it feels like something as far as negotiation, you're not going to feel really comfortable with. You're going to be in this space of trying to problem solve and get a different perspective, having to do with money. I hope that makes sense, or some sort of opportunity. But at the end of the day, you just want to make sure, Four of Pentacles, right, that you have what you need for your future. It's not like, you know, I don't feel like you're being unreasonable, though, you know, I guess some of you can be. Who knows? This is not a personal reading, right? I don't know. But, yeah. All right. Let's go into relationship read. Relationship for our Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So we're going to do a spread for you, a spread for your person. Let's see what comes up. Okay, recent past, Ace of Wands. This is like a new passion, new motivation. You know, it is a phallic symbol, it is. So it could be a new intimate connection or a new relationship altogether. Okay, but right now, what's the situation right now? We have the Temperance being crossed by the Queen of Wands. So the Temperance energy is the Sagittarius. You might be dealing with the Sagittarius. The Temperance energy is all about trying to find balance and harmony in a situation and moderation. But it's not easy because we have the Queen of Wands, which is very feisty, confident, self-assured energy here. So I feel like you're very attracted to somebody. But you also don't want that to define the relationship at the same time. Now we have the Ace of Wands is a brand new beginning. It's a brand new fiery passion, you know, motivation to move forward in this relationship. But the Queen is more mature, and the Queen is about connecting. And when we're connecting wands, it's connecting creativity, confidence, self-assuredness. So we can be, you know, you might be in the space where you want there to be balance, but you may be feeling like the person that you're dealing with is a little bit of a player energy. That can happen. Or you're trying to look for balance here and you want to go out and play the field some more. The crowning energy, though, is the Queen of Cups. So again, Queen is connection energy. So we're dealing with emotions. This has to do with the nurturing, a very nurturing energy, healing, supportive, right? You know, in astrology, the Queen of Cups is Gemini and Cancer. So what does that mean? It's communicating and learning about what's necessary to feel very grounded, rooted, and safe and secure in this energy. And then we have as the foundation the King of Pentacles, and this is a solid practical energy, a smart investor, somebody who really, now if we're looking at it from the point of Pentacles, can also represent mental, physical, and emotional connection. So when we get the King in there, the King brings it down to earth, right? He keeps it solid. So it's somebody who really understands relationship, who understands how to do his money, right? Who understands how to communicate. So really right now, I just feel like we have the Queen and the King as the crowning and the foundation. I feel like this is very much what your focus is on right now. And for you and only you right now, we have the Three of Cups. This is a very friendship, celebratory, circle of support kind of energy. Absolutely. Very interesting, though, because I'm getting more of a, that this is what you want ultimately. See, for whoever's resonating with this, this is what I feel like. I feel like there's somebody that you're attracted to. I don't feel like this is a very long-standing relationship. I don't. All right, so I guess I'll get you guys next time, those of you who are in a longer relationship. But the Ace of Wands does indicate this new connection, right? And it's like you guys got together because there was a lot of attraction, but then once that was done, then we want some like connection. We want some Queen and King connection here, right? But there's this sort of feisty, flirty energy that's sort of blanketing the situation as well. I haven't got a reading for you in quite a while like this, Capricorn. So maybe I'm hitting some Capricorns that I haven't been, resonating with in a while. We have, again, you being in this vibe, though, celebratory. This can be with this individual, right? Because the 3 of Cups comes after the 2 of Cups, which is all about a proposal of something, right? Let's go out, let's do this, let's whatever. So you guys being in this sort of happy, sort of honeymoonish space, the honeymoon phase kind of thing, being very celebratory. Or this could be you just going out and having a good time with your friends and not even thinking about it. Because we do have the energy that's external to you, that's impacting the situation. We have the Queen of Pentacles. And this is just very interesting to me because we have the Queen of Cups here, we have the Queen of Wands here, and then we get this Queen of Pentacles, which is very resourceful, very... I'm going to say fertile, but this can go for a man or a woman, meaning that they have the ability to grow a relationship, mental, physical, emotional connection, right? Because this is an external energy that's in your, and that's impacting you, but you're confused about them because we have the hope and the fear, which is interesting that it would be a hope and a fear, because this is about wanting to get a different perspective, hoping to get a different perspective, but being afraid to get a different perspective, not being comfortable with the foggy feeling that you have regarding this person, because you're just not quite sure. You're going to have to sacrifice something that you really believe in. You're putting yourself in a space of trying to figure out some freedom here, but you're afraid of this, right? I mean, this is psychologically driven, right? This is an energy that's psychologically driven. It's something that you are afraid of. You're afraid of not having clarity. You want to know. And I feel like you don't know here, but you're uncomfortable with the not knowing. But then here comes this Knight of Coins, Prince, Princess Charming. Here we go, romantic proposal. Yep. And the romantic proposal can be anything from let's go on another date, let's get married, let's have a baby, let's move in together, let's get engaged, anything like that. It's some sort of proposal coming from the heart. The final outcome energy, though, is the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords is about total honesty. And honestly, Capricorn, being just fine on your own. So, very interesting, because I feel like, all right, let me tell you what I feel like. I feel like you may have gone through something really painful, got past it. This is a new energy coming in. You're not sure if you can trust it. You're not. But they come in and they seem good. Because they have Queen of Pentacles and Knight of Cups. And you're like, look, the truth of the matter is, I'd be totally fine by myself. I don't need your ass, kind of thing. Truly, that's what this is. Let me see. What else? I feel like this is only going to resonate with some of you, but it's so clear that it is what it is. Can't control comes out. We got the Magician. We got the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Death card. All right, let me just pull clarifiers for those. It's the Magician. So the Magician is Two of Pentacles. I feel like you're talking to more. I think you're talking to more than one person. You have more than one person in your energy. Because the Magician is Mercury. Mercury is about communication. It's Gemini and Virgo, right? It's communicating to make something happen. It's focused creativity, turning vision into reality, right? And then we have that working with the Two of Pentacles, which is all about two choices, right? And weighing the choices, weighing the options here. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is that conversation about I want a family, I want a house, I want, something mature. Ten of Pentacles is a maturation energy. It's a maturing of the relationship. It's a mature, like, where do you see it going? It's very much a family energy, creating a legacy, that kind of thing. And then the Seven of Wands is like you're in the space of feeling like you need to defend yourself. You're needing to defend yourself against the idea of family, having all of that, this deepening of commitment, this deepening of connection. That's what it's going to be for some of you. Others of you are going to be very, very focused on growing your money, focusing on your work and only your work. And you're going to be in a space where you feel like you need to defend yourself. Maybe you're trying to get something off the ground. You have some sort of startup going on, and you just maybe don't even have time or the energy for a new relationship. We have this Page of Cups coming in. I don't mean to laugh because I feel like you're just like, no, bye. Transitioning away. You're moving away from the new relationship, right? And we have the Death card. So the Death is all about big changes, endings, and beginning, time to move on from something, have to rebirth and transform, but you just want to be by yourself in the Hermit. You're not about it right now. You're trying to learn about yourself. You're trying to figure out yourself. I feel like you're focusing on your money. You're getting together what it is that you really want. It's not that there aren't other energies out there. There are. But I feel like you're not ready. I mean, whoever's resonating with this, you're doing you. You're working on you. You're hanging out with your friends. Maybe you're dating. Nothing crazy. You're meeting nice people. But you can meet nice people all day long if you're not really very ready. So I don't even know who your other person is going to be that we get in this energy. Okay, can I pick the cards up? Oh, Jacqueline, what is going on with your energy today? Such a weird space. Feeling that Mercury pre-shadow. All right. Okay. So let's see who comes up. This might be somebody from your past. It might be somebody you went on a couple of dates with. Who knows? Hopefully you'll be able to recognize the messages. It's a subjective read, so it's always coming from their side of the energy. You guys are the first sign that I got this vibe with, where it's like, no, thank you. Leave me alone. I'm focused on other things right now. Oh, well, somebody wasn't honest in the past anyway, so good riddance to them. Like, who needs that, right? Yeah. Seven of Swords energy, it's that betrayal, dishonesty, running away from something within the relationship, wearing a mask kind of thing, saying one thing, doing another. Possibly not actually who they presented themselves as initially. Situation right now for them, we have the Chariot, which is about moving away from toxicity towards where it is that they feel like they need to go, right? It's action and change. And that's being crossed by the Tower. So something's over. Some sort of upheaval and a complete ending. But there's a history here. So this is somebody you have a history with. Yeah, I mean, the Chariot and the Tower, these are major arcanas. There's usually time involved when we're talking about major arcanas. And the thing is with the Tower, because it's a Mars energy, Mars was showing you showing both of you the red flags as you guys went along. And they were just being ignored up to a certain point. We have the crowning energy here. We have the Devil. So, I mean, this could be you, right? You're crowning, they're reading. Because you are, it's Capricorn, you guys are the Devil. Right? But this could also be some sort of issue for them. Let's give an additional interpretation of like addiction, greed, envy, materialism, obsession, sexual lust, any kind of imbalance that ended up shackling the experience of the relationship. And then we have, as the foundation, we have the Ace of Coins. Coins is being coins could be where they're just focused on a new job right now. Could certainly be that, a raise, promotion, investment, some sort of new income, or coins could also, and pentacles can also mean mental, physical, emotional connection. So a new connection. But there's newness here, right? In the foundation for them. And then we have them right now, they're focusing on a new path for themselves, moving forward. Three of Wands is Sun in Aries. This is turning their back to the past and focusing on the future and getting called forth by somebody else, right? Oh, this could be by a job, this could be by another relationship, just this could be other, right? There's always other with the Three of Wands, but turning the back on the past. Now, the energy external to them that's impacting them, we do have the Knight of Swords, which is some truth being served up and not being very comfortable, and some sort of change in the circumstances, like a breakup being incited here. But their fear and their hope is the Knight of Coins, which is a very reliable energy, very patient, very hardworking. So I feel like they're afraid that they're not going to have that moving forward. This is something that they're not comfortable with. There's a lot of discomfort in this energy right now, I could feel. Which I suppose, look, I mean, if this is a relationship that ended, of course they feel uncomfortable, right? But we have in the near future Justice energy. So for those of you, if you're in a space where there was some sort of like, where you guys were in a relationship where there was some sort of legal binding situation, such as marriage, or maybe you owned property together, or, you know, maybe you weren't actually married, but maybe you owned a home together, something like that. Maybe you had kids together, or something like that. We do have the Justice energy in the near future, which is the 7th house. 7th house is Libra, and it's the partnerships that we have some sort of connection to. Having to do particularly with finances, I say especially some shared soul purpose. But don't forget, though, that the Justice energy, Libra, 7th house, is also the house of frenemies. So it could have been like you felt the soul connection at one point, but then that ends up creating like the worst kind of breakups where it's like insanely toxic, right? So it depends on, you know, what energy is on your 7th house is what I'm really called to say. But the Justice energy, the glyph is the scale. So it really is about figuring out what's fair, what's not fair in a situation, and just really very much sticking with the truth of a situation. And this came out in your deck as well, being very self-sufficient, being totally honest, right? So there being the truth come out with the Justice energy, there being a win-win solution, and there being some honesty about a situation. So I feel like this person is part of your past. And the spread that I got for you is where you're at right now, dating, not dating. You're meeting some nice people, but you're not ready for them. So that's what I have for you, Capricorn. I hope this was helpful in some way. Very kind of an interesting read, a little different for me, for you guys. So I hope that helped in some way. If not, catch me next time. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.